The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hello, my dear children. Welcome back. Now we have entered into a new year with new hopes, right? I know you might have taken resolutions and made new plans for this new year. Let your all resolutions turn fruitful, okay? I wish you all for that. Now, coming back to the lesson, a society consists of a group of families or individuals. A society has its culture established over the years. The festivals, rituals, and social activities reveal the culture of a society. We know that Kerala is a land of festivals, right? Can you name some of the festivals that you usually celebrate in your locality? Yes, Puram, Vela, Kumati, etc. Right? Festivals are days to enjoy with family and friends. It's a social gathering with fun and frolic. Now, look at this. What do you see in these images? Yes, these are the images of Puram, Vela, Kumati, etc. Here we have a lesson in which the author describes the visuals of Puram, a representative festival of Kerala that shows an aspect of its culture. It is written by Anitha Nair. Anitha Nair, who was born in Shornoor in the state of Kerala on January 26, 1966, is an Indian English writer. Her novels, The Better Man and Lady's Cope, were translated into 21 languages. Now, let us read and enjoy the lesson. A village, Puram. Mountains of bananas, hillocks of paddy, yards of jasmine, rows of glinting glass bangles, shimmery satin ribbons in rainbow hues, trinkets, toys, the call of the vendors, the mouth-watering aroma of murukku, the beat of the drums, the stamp of feet, the acrid smell of gunpowder, the heat, the dust. This is the lure of the Puram. And it is to feed this memory that I go home again and again to the Puram at the Muttashikavu. What all things come to your mind when you think of Puram or any festival? Yes, toys, balloons, smell of sweets, candies, elephants, etc. Right? Here the author describes a scene where she could see the things displayed on a Puram ground at the Muttashikavu. She could see the mountains of bananas, hillocks of paddy, yards of jasmine, shining glass bangles, colorful silk ribbons, trinkets, that is less expensive ornaments. Okay. And she could also hear the call of the vendors. What do you mean by vendors? Vendors means people who sell things on street. Okay. And she could also smell the aroma of murukku, which was mouth-watering, the beat of the drums and the stamping of feet. The air in the Puram ground is filled with the acrid smell of gunpowder, the heat, the dust. So these are the attractions of Puram that she recollects, and she go home again and again to feed this memory. Okay. In the old house we wait anxiously. A heap of paddy in a para and a lit bronze lamp is kept ready. As the distant throb of drum comes closer, the children scamper down the mango trees and rush to hide behind the adults. The gate creaks open and the Tira and Pudan saunter in with a jangling and clanging that would awaken even the dead. I feel the familiar feel of dread wash over me as the grotesque masks come closer. These are the faces nightmares are made of. The Tira and Pudan are symbolic representations of the goddess who visit each home to chase away the evil spirits and bless the family. Here she recollects the memory of Pudan and Tira that comes to their home. She remembers how they wait anxiously in the old house with a heap of paddy in a para and a lamp will be lit next to it. As the beat of the drums comes closer, children climb down the mango trees and rush to hide behind their parents. The welcome sound of the Pudan and Tira is so dreadful that it would make the dead alive. When she sees the mask of the Pudan and Tira, she gets the feel of fear and her nightmares will be filled with these faces. You may also had such experiences, don't you? Of course. It is believed that the Pudan and Tira are the symbolic representations of the goddess who visit each house to chase away the evil and to bless the family. Okay. The drummers begin to beat their chandas, cymbals clash, and the Tira and Pudan begin to dance. With the vigor of supernatural beings, they twist and turn, gyrate and twirl, raising clouds of dust with their swirling feet. When they stop abruptly, there is an eerie silence until once again the drums comes alive with a pagan rhythm. In the olden days, measures of paddy were given as an offering of thanks. Today it is money. The Pudan tucks the cash into the sash at his waist and turns to go to the next house to announce the coming of the Puram. When the musical instruments like chenda and cymbals beat, the Pudan and Tira begin to dance. They dance so vigorously that they twist, turn, gyrate and twirl, raising the clouds of dust. When the music stops, there will be a complete silence until once again the drums come alive. Measures of paddy were given in the olden days as an offering, but now it is money. After receiving the money, the Pudan and Tira visit the next house to announce the coming of the Puram. Is it clear, children? Okay. So, these are the few visuals that the author recollects of Puram. I hope you understood the paragraphs taken. Go through the paragraphs 2-3 times and try to find out the meanings also. Okay. We will continue the lesson in the next class. Till then, take care and thank you.